Trump went to the UN and insulted the entire world. I mean, it's not insulting. He's just telling the truth to the entire world, a world that is used to only hearing lies. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are, and I'm really proud of our president. You know, the Democrats always said they wanted to repair our reputation with the world, and then they gave us Biden. There's no respect for that guy. No one respected Biden. And then to make it worse, you know how they were going to try and fix things and make it better? They were going to send Kamala Harris to the world stage to represent America. Okay, lefties, you ruined our reputation. You destroyed America's reputation around the world. Trump is here to repair it and bring back respect. Let's watch. Don't forget to subscribe to my people out there. I'd love to have you as part of the In Exile community. Here's Trump.
So changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained. What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders.
I like how he's explaining like third grade level what a country is to this room, which is every country in the world at the UN. He's telling them what a country is. You have a border, language, and culture, and UK is allowing a bunch of Muslims in and brutal terrorists in, and then you don't have a country or a culture anymore. And they're all like, hey, good idea, Trump.
As we do now, and to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their countries and paid for by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country, and now they're being ruined. Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything, where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for.
They claim refugee status, and that's how they get away with it. Your prisons are filled with people claiming refugee status. That's the first order of business. That's the first healing. This one I thought was funny because this is J.D. Vance with three laughing, happy faces at what Trump said about his teleprompter fails in the middle of it. And he's like going off on them for being incompetent.
Don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart.
Yeah, and imagine Kamala Harris if the teleprompter failed. Imagine Joe Biden if the teleprompter failed when he used to read, end of sentence.
I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
And that was a huge comedic moment for him. And J.D. Vance just wanted to sting it and make everyone laugh for them. So we're going to go to another one. This is him nailing the globalists who are trying to poison the whole world. Here's the globalists.
The truth is plain to see. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots. The future belongs to sovereign and independent nation.
This goes out to the patriots around the world. I have a lot of listeners in the UK and Canada, Mexico, France, Finland, Papua New Guinea. I've got people, missionaries from around the world. The patriots in every country are tired of contributing to their country and then giving it away to foreigners. This is about Trump loves the people of his country. He loves us and wants to do what's right by us. Here's more of Trump doing some truly comedic moments for you that I thought this was very funny.
The Congo and Rwanda a vicious, violent war that was.
That's not the funny part.
Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included all of them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before.
Ended wars in
Never been
7
anything
months
like that.
for all those
Very
countries.
honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them.
They actually sold weapons to both sides and made it worse.
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen.
I didn't have video for you guys, but as he walked into the UN building, as soon as he stepped on the escalator and Melania was in front of him, the escalator stopped working. And then he's complaining about the teleprompter not working.
She's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much.
And the audience is laughing. They're charmed and they love him. And so do I. Wait, there's more. Let me do this one.
They've said this is a disaster, what's happening. They were going all green. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in New York City. I'm feeling a lot safer. Crime, we're getting crime down. And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. was the crime capital of America. Now it's after 12 days, they've said this.
And we're going to get into the green movement here because nothing is worse than what these countries have done to their own countries and their oon businesses in the name of the green movement. He's going to get into specifics on that dismantling, but I just wanted to show you some contrast for a minute. You're going to hate me for this. This was posted by Benny Johnson. You're going to hate me. There is nothing worse than Kamala Harris, except for Kamala Harris on The View. I just want to contrast. This is her criticizing Trump at the UN, this person who is an invisible, just a big pile of mush. 0 career left, but you have to contrast a minute and a half of Kamala Harris with Trump. We'll get back to more Trump at the UN.
This person and what we just saw in terms of a presentation at the United Nations, I talk about it. I talked about, remember in the debate?
Yeah.
They laughed at him the last time he was in front of the UN.
Yeah, this time
They're not laughing now, Kamala and The View.
You remember just about, I don't know, several weeks ago, that meeting with Xi and Kim Jong-un and Putin?
Yeah.
You think they're not laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
As they create a new axis of partnership?
What would you have done, Kamala? What would she have done to face Putin? Oh, you're so tough. Putin was really scared of you.
It's happening. You bring people into the Oval Office. I have spent a lot of time in the Oval Office. I have spent time in the Oval Office with the president, receiving our allies and our friends from around the world.
When you were in the Oval Office, did you notice that President Biden was completely impaired, that he couldn't finish sentences, that he was put in the corner and his staffs took care of everything? Were you in that Oval Office?
Consistently, we have seen Donald Trump bring people into the Oval Office, be they a United States governor or the head of a state of a friendly nation, and embarrass them and ridicule and demean them.
Yeah, like Zelensky. You don't have the cards.
That is not what a president does.
Well, you're not going to find out what a president does, Kamala, not in your lifetime. I hope, please run again. Please go for it. 2028, Kamala, I think your chances look good. Come on, girl.
This individual who occupies our White House right now,
The People's House,
has decided that he will be an emperor in his mind who will demonstrate his power by demeaning and belittling and making people feel small. But this is
She just now demeaned him and belittled him. Guys, this is why this doesn't bother me. I know some of you guys are like, you cannot show the view. I will turn it off. To me, this is funny. To me, it's funny to watch Kamala Harris stuck on the view with a tiny audience and no one cares and they can't do anything to you. This person, this witch cannot harm you anymore. If she won the election, we'd be in prison. They'd be censoring us again, just like they announced. They censored on YouTube. They censored on X. They censored on Facebook. Let's get back. Let's wash our mouth out. Let's get some mouthwash. That's Trump back at the UN instead of this imbecile. More on that green energy scam.
States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions, and they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big, big thing a few years ago. I remember hearing about the carbon footprint, and then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing 747, and not a new one, an old one with old engines that spew everything into the atmosphere. He'd talk about the carbon footprint, we must do so. Then he'd get in and he'd fly from Washington to Hawaii to play a round of golf.
And then get back in it and fly home. Did you know one flight of these private jets equals the amount of recycling that you and I will do in our entire lifetime? One flight. They do not care about recycling. They don't care about the environment. They never did. They used it to have the means of production, our factories, buckled under a communist government that would report to one globalist world head. That was their dream. That was where all of the stuff came from. It is not, and we know already it did not help the environment one bit. Trump continues to call them out.
With evil intentions, and they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big, big thing a few years ago. I remember hearing about the carbon footprint.
I'm replaying that clip purely by accident, but I want to go into the later quote that he says. I'll just read it here to get to it, okay? Because this is the tail end of this clip. He says, "Congratulations, Europe, good job. You cost yourself lots of jobs and factories, but you reduced the carbon footprint by 37%. However, after all of that sacrifice, has been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%. So even to the nations that try to reduce their carbon footprint, the other nations, well, more than make up for it." Now here he is on the illegals. And he specifically calls out Switzerland. This is every country he's insulting to their face with the truth.
In Greece, the number was 54%. And in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72%
Of the people in their prisons are illegal.
people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did. They repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration. Once we started detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit, but they're not coming anymore.
We didn't have to pass one law. We just needed to change our president. But he warned, that's the UN. He told all of them, he goes, your countries are going to hell. That's the quote of the day. But wait, there's more. Here he is on ending the...
And we virtually stopped drugs coming into
smuggling.
Our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill hundreds of thousands of people. I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with two bloodthirsty transnational gangs, probably the worst gangs anywhere in the world, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way. Such organizations torture, maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity. They're the enemies of all humanity. And for this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro. To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice.
They're smiling. First, they look terrible. We will blow you out of existence. Look at this guy over here on the left. He's like, that's Venezuela. See right down here, Venezuela? That's them. We will blow you out of existence. Fair warning. Here's Caroline Leavitt with her favorite quote.
Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars.
That is the Nobel Peace Prize. He goes, I don't want your Nobel Peace Prize. I want your children to live. This is one of the most moral, greatest presidents ever. He fights endless wars. He just wants their children to live. And on that happy, positive note, how many of you are proud of your president before the world stage? Give me a few words in the chat on how you're proud of your president before the UN. Then let's compare him to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Anybody proud? Anybody scared? Any respect? Could they even finish a sentence? Last video coming right up. I'm Doug in Exile.